I'm sharing information on this experience that I had with a client reading. Her name is Debbie, and I'm dedicating this video to you, Debbie, because you asked me to share it with everyone. We were so touched. It was such a beautiful thing that she wanted to share it with everyone, which I thought was very sweet of her. So I told her I'll make a video on that. I'm not going to go into detail on her whole reading, but I will give you these couple examples how our loved ones reach out to us. And it was so magical, so beautiful. I don't think Debbie or I will ever forget this experience. And I forget a lot in readings because, I do so many readings. I can't hold all the information in my head. But anyways, so I'm doing her reading, and she lost her mother years ago. And near the end of the reading, sometimes a loved one will, in my visions, will show me to give my client a flower. Most of the time they're roses, but sometimes it's a different flower because it has more meaning to my client. Well, for example, with Debbie, near the end of the reading, and earlier, I should say, Debbie asked, like she was wondering if her mother was still around her. That was a question she had, like she's wondering. So when I was doing the reading, she kept getting all these little validations of what happened during like the day with her, or a week ago, or the night before, whatever, okay? So she kept getting these validations on different situations to validate that her mom was still around her. It was so cool that she was wondering if she was still around her, and then her mother reached out and was giving her all these different examples to validate that she is still around her. So like I was saying, near the end of the reading, her mother showed me a vision that she went to give her a flower, and I went up like this to reach out to tell Debbie. And meanwhile, when my hand was moving towards her, I saw her kind of like looking around, like she was looking at something. Something got her attention. So I didn't know if it was an animal in the house or whatever, like if she had a dog or something. But anyways, so I go to say that to her, like, your mother's giving you a flower, and she's going, and then she turned around, she looked at me, and she's like, oh my God, Megan, you're not going to believe this, I just smelled a sweet smell. And I'm like, oh my God. She goes, yeah, it was sweet, like a flower. And I'm like, well, your mom is showing you that. Here, I'm giving, right at that timing, when I was giving her the flower from her mother, Debbie, who's on the other side of the phone, because it was FaceTime, smelled a flower, like a sweet smell. And we thought that was so amazing and so cool. That was, what a gift that her mother gave to her. Then Debbie says to me, well, tell her I said goodbye, because it was on the end of the reading, right? She goes, tell her I said goodbye. And I bust out laughing because I'm like, Debbie, you don't need to ask me to tell her. She hears you. She can hear you. She knows what you're thinking. She knows what's in your heart, and she hears you. So I had to remind Debbie of that. And so she laughed. And the minute we talked about that, suddenly there was fireworks going on in the back of my head. And I'm looking because, like when you're doing FaceTime, you could see yourself in the corner, and then you see, like, then I could see my client, right, bigger, but I could see myself on the lower corner of the phone. And I was seeing the fireworks. And I'm like, oh my God, I wasn't going to say anything because, I didn't know if Debbie could see it. But then out of the blue, Debbie says, oh my God, do you see what's going on behind you? And I'm like, the fireworks? And she goes, yes, the fireworks. I'm like, oh my God, you can see that. And because earlier too, it was a couple times she was saying something, and right when she was saying it, this thumb would pop up, like a thumb saying, okay. And it made sense on what we were talking about at the same time whenever I saw a thumb. And I kept seeing, I saw it, one time I saw it next to her head on this side, and then it did it again, and I said, oh my God, did you see the thumb? Because it came up twice, right when it made sense on what we were talking about. So her mother was saying, yes, like you're on the right track, or yes, that's true, thumbs up, and Debbie said, oh my God, I saw that one, right? She saw it while she was looking. And then I saw another big one that happened on the other side of her head with a thumbs up. It was just coincidence, or not even coincidence, it was real. It was right at the time when it made sense that a thumbs up, not like a thumbs down or anything else, right? But then, like I said, with the fireworks, I told her, I said, oh my God, I wasn't really sure if you saw it. She goes, yeah, I saw that. I said, so I really believe, like, our loved ones, their energy, so they can go into the phone. They can act up the TV. They can act up our lights. So they can play with our phones. But it was so cool because that was right after, I gave her the flower. She smelled the flower, and she said, tell my mom, I said goodbye, and I laughed. I said, you don't have to. And then boom, 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 fireworks behind my head, meaning the end, It's just like when you go and watch the fireworks, and then when it's like on the end, they go boom, 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 like that. It was just like that. And we're like, oh my God, we were so floored. We loved it. We're still like, can't believe this, this is such a beautiful gift that her mother gave her. So I wanted to share that with you. Debbie wanted to share that with you. Actually, I just did a video yesterday that I put up about the spiritual awakening on people's gifts. If you're psychic or a medium, and everything's going to grow. I can't believe how they've been messing with my phone when I do a reading. Actually, and I told Debbie this too. I said, Debbie, it was weird because just this month, for some reason, I did a couple other readings where the thumb came up once, in a person's reading. And I thought it was just my phone. And I'm like, because I'm not a computer person, I don't know how, and I'm not touching the phone. I can't make it while I'm talking to somebody, So I'm like, how can that happen? So I just thought maybe my phone or whatever, But then when this happened, and then the fireworks behind me and all that, I'm like, oh my God. And me and Debbie's talking like, it's impossible because we're not touching our phones. We're not making that happen. So I think it's our loved ones. What do you think? Anyways, thank you, Debbie, for letting me share this experience with everybody. And God bless you all. Bye-bye.